So this is Wednesday, the 20th, January 20th, and this is the Wednesday morning class of Yoga for Strong and Healthy Bones. My name is Kevin Whiteheart, and here in Southport, the sun is trying to peek through the clouds, and we are also looking forward to a day of change. So in keeping with that notion of change, we're going to be a little more vigorous today in our yoga practice as opposed to where we were last time we met. I believe last time we met, we were grounding ourselves down, trying to get some sense of peace, security, stability, largely in part to, I think, what has been going on in our country. There's no need for us to deny that what we've been going through these last few months is something of tremendous historical importance. And we can't go through something as profound as what we've been through without it making inroads into our insides, into our minds, into our hearts, into our hips, into our lower areas where we carry fear, we carry anxiety, we carry stress. So we're going to wait about 2 more minutes to see if we have anyone else who wants to join. But I want to thank you, Betsy, for joining in, and thank you for your note. I got it on the little chat function. And feel free at any time to send me another thing. Let's see if I can reply to you. I have to reach up kind of high. There we go. All right, Betsy. So it's now 9 o'clock, and I am going to officially begin class. Once again, thanks for joining in. And, oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to close this out. There we go. Close it out. There we go. So let's begin this morning in a different mode. Let's begin by standing up. You know, the one thing that we can say about change is that it is one of the few constants in our lives. Change occurs all the time. And given the fast pace of discoveries made in science and medicine and technology and computers, we are daily faced with changes that are so profound they would probably have knocked a 1900s era man and woman off their feet with the sheer near unbelievability of what we're able to do. And so with those changes comes a lesson for us. How do we respond to change? Do we respond in a way that continues to feed our soul and our heart? Or do we resist against change and lose that inner peace that we can have? So today I'd like to ask you to consider the good part of change, the fact that it gives us permission to do something different, to make a different choice. So as we begin our class, let's stand with our feet about a little wider than hip distance apart. We're going to begin by oxygenating our bloodstream. So as we begin, we just inhale as loud as you want to, bringing the arms up to shoulder height, and then exhale and let the hands back down. Again, inhaling Arms coming up a little higher than shoulder height. Exhaling, bring those hands down. Now I'll turn to the side to show we're going to inhale with our arms out in front of us. So inhaling up to shoulder height, exhaling those arms down. Inhaling again, this time bringing the arms up to a little higher than shoulder height. And then exhaling as we come back down. Now we're going to inhale and bring the arms all the way up over the head, bringing our hands together in a prayer position so that we exhale and bring those hands down across the face. Again, inhaling, arms out to the side, bringing the hands up. Hey, Ellie, how are you doing? Exhaling, bringing those hands down across the face. One more time. Inhaling, arms out. Extend the arms up overhead as you continue with your inhalation. The hands touch, exhale, and bring them down. That's what we want to do. We want to do one more. Here we go. Inhaling, arms up overhead. And when the hands touch, we exhale and bring them down across the face. Good job, everyone. Now let's put our hands on our hips and begin to twist from side to side. Inhaling and exhaling as you twist. So perhaps when you reach this point, you begin inhaling to come back to center, then exhaling as you rotate to the side. Inhaling back to center, rotate and exhale to the side. Inhale to center, exhale to side. Two more times. Inhale to center, exhale to side. Inhale to center, exhale to side, inhale to center, exhale to side, and let's release. Bring your hands out in front of you. Extend those fingers wide, and then let's interlace the fingers so that we can then turn our palms inside out and stretch our arms out in front of us. As we do so, maybe you want to round in the back so that we're pushing out, expanding between those shoulder blades, trying to stretch the back muscles. And then exhaling, we'll release our hands and bring them behind our backs. The hands are interlaced. And as we inhale, we lift those hands up. Oh, good job. Breathing here, inhaling. Exhaling, let the hands release to the back, unclasp the hands, and shake your wrists. Yeah, good job, everyone. Now we're going to do a few things that help warm up our lower body, our abdomen, and our legs. We're going to start with our hands out at hip height, and then we inhale and step up with that right knee and touch the hand, and step down. Inhale and step up, touch the left knee and down. So we're bringing the knee up to touch the palm of the hand and then stepping down, going at your own pace, very slowly, just warming those legs up. Good job, everyone. Feeling what our balance is like this early in the morning. This is certainly a change, isn't it, from the way that we normally do yoga class. There we go. We'll do two more of these. Just being conscious of what's going on, watching yourself figuratively as you bring those knees up. Great job. Now we're going to incorporate opening our shoulders with opening our hips. I'll stand closer, and we exhale and rotate to the side. Inhale and rotate back to center. Exhale and rotate to the side. Inhale and back to center. Great job. Exhale to the side. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the side. Inhale back to center. Great job. Let your hands fall down. Shake your arms. Now, bring your arms out wide and bring them in like you're going to hug yourself. Actually, you are. So put one hand over each shoulder cap and hug, maybe bending forward and stretching between the shoulder blades. Good job. Now, as we exhale, we're going to release and open those arms out to the side. And this time we're going to hug, but we'll have the opposite arm on top. So if you had your left arm on top the first time, it's the right arm on top now. And then turning to the side, you can see we'll bend forward and stretch between the shoulder blades. Oh boy, good job. Exhale and release your hands. And let's come back down to a seated position. So let me adjust the camera just a little bit, and we'll come down onto our mat. There we are. Position yourself so that your feet are still on the bottom of your mat, and then lay down, having the knees bent. Let's move each foot so that the outside corner of each foot is along the outside edge of your mat. And we will open our arms out to the side. We're going to be windshield wipering our hips. So we inhale, or we exhale as we drop the knees down. We inhale as we bring them up to center. Exhale and drop them to the left side. Inhale and come back to center. Let's do 5 of these at your own pace. As you do so, keep your mind's eye on what's going on in your hips, your waist, your low back, the hamstring muscles that run along the backs of the legs. Just seeing whether there is tightness, whether there is maybe some stiffness or soreness, or whether you just feel doggone good today. So after you've done 5 windshield wiperings, 1 wipe is 1 back and forth. Let's finish up with our knees up at 12 o'clock. Now we're going to inhale and take our left ankle and cross it over that right knee. And when you inhale again, we'll lift that right knee in towards the chest and take our arms and wrap them in between the legs and around the back of the leg, and then lay back on our mat and begin drawing this right knee into the chest. Ooh, what you should feel is an opening right here along the left hip and buttock. And it should feel, well, you can call it wonderful. You could say, but it's a deep opening. And what is happening is the head of the leg bone is moving quite deeply inside that hip socket, which means really good things for our hips. It helps to loosen up the connective tissue. It also helps to squirt more of the fluid inside the joints. So let's breathe here for 1 more breath cycle. Inhaling, exhaling, release your hands and let that right foot come back down to the ground. Unwind your left foot and put it down on the ground and prepare for the other side. So we'll inhale and lift the right ankle up, crossing it over the left knee. On an inhalation, we begin lifting that knee back towards the face, and we snake our arms and hands around and behind the back of the left thigh, and we draw that left knee into the chest. Oh, another big opening that you feel right here. What's actually going on is the strands of muscles are separating. When we sit or we're inactive, our muscles tend to mold themselves into a particular set of strandings. And by doing this, we're opening those strands of muscles. We're pulling them apart, which is a good thing. 1 more breath cycle here. Inhaling, exhaling, release your hands and let that left foot come back down to the ground. Unwind your right knee and let that right foot be on the ground. Let's prepare now for lifting both feet up into the air for what's normally called legs up the wall. So as you inhale, lift the feet up into the air and bring both hands behind your thighs, and then lift your feet up into the air. it's okay. You see, my knees are not perfectly straight like this. I have them bent. And I want to draw those toes back towards my face. Do you feel what happens when we do that? Oh, it's right here in the calf muscles and the Achilles tendon. And so we feel a nice deep opening. If you want more, begin straightening those knees out, and you'll feel the stretch go from the calves all the way down the back side of the legs to the buttocks. It's a great stretch. Breathing here. On your next inhale, we'll exhale and let those feet come back down to the ground. Let's reach out with our strap, and we're going to do a big toe pose. So if you get your strap out, let's set up for big toe. So the way we do this is lying on our backs. Both knees are bent. And we want to inhale and bring that right knee up to the chest so that we can take our strap and then wrap it around the arch of the foot, right in the middle, that fleshy part right in the middle of the foot. And then once we have the strap around the arch of the foot, we'll begin with this bent knee, the right knee here. And as we inhale, we stretch that right leg up into the air and begin trying to straighten the right knee. Go only so far as you feel a very deep stretch to the point where I call the pain pleasure point. It's both pleasurable yet somewhat uncomfortable to be there. That's the perfect place for us to begin with the pointings and flexings. So here we go, inhaling and pointing the toes up to the ceiling like a ballerina, and then exhaling and drawing the toes down towards the face, holding that for maybe 1 beat longer as we feel the stretch in the calf muscles. We're going to do 5 pointings and flexings. So do them at your own pace, observing what happens in the calf muscles, in the Achilles tendon, in the foot. We're trying to stretch through into a new range of motion. So once you do 5 of these pointings and flexings, we'll go now into rotating the ankle. Pretend that your big toe has a piece of lead pencil sticking out, and you're trying to draw something with your big toe as the pencil. Doing 5 attempted circles with your ankle and the foot drawing a circle on the ceiling. Once you've done 5 rotations in one direction, stop, and let's go back in the opposite direction. Once again, trying to use the big toe as an imaginary pencil to draw a circle on the ceiling. Note how the ankle feels and the difference in the pattern that you draw if going from clockwise to counterclockwise. Once you've completed the 5 rounds, we're going to lift our hands up high on the strap. It brings our head and shoulders off the ground. And then we inhale and lift that left leg up into the air, stretching it long before we exhale and let the left leg come down to the ground completely. Now, look at your left foot. Make sure it's pointed straight up in the air, and then draw the toes back towards your face. Finally, wrap the muscles tightly around the bones of that left leg, squeezing hard, and then slide your hands down your strap until your head is on the ground. We'll take the ends of the strap into the right hand. Extend your left arm out to about 1 o'clock. And as you exhale, let the right leg go out to the right side of your body. Oh my goodness. Woo! Oh boy. What an opening. Keep squeezing that left leg, squeezing the muscles tightly as a way to keep the muscle balance between both legs. We want both legs to be doing some active effort here. On your next inhalation, rotate your foot up like a pigeon-toed stance. So the toes are rotated up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, rotate the foot down like a duck walk. So the toes are angled down towards the earth. Now level the foot off parallel with the floor. And on your next inhalation, reach way out with that right heel. Oh my goodness. Then exhale and draw that right heel back in. When you're ready on your next inhalation, up comes that right leg. We take the ends of the strap into the left hand. We extend the right arm out to 11 o'clock. And once again, keeping this left leg really squeezed tightly, we exhale and let the right foot go across the left side of the body. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Keeping that left leg tightly squeezed so that we have a counter to all of the effort that's going on here in the hip and buttock. Do you feel that deep opening? My goodness gracious. When you're ready, let's inhale and point those toes up in the air like we're doing a duck walk. Oh boy, do you feel the head of the leg bone moving in the hip socket? Then exhale and rotate those toes down towards the ground like a pigeon-toed stance. Once again, we can feel the head of the leg bone moving in that hip. Finally, level your foot off parallel with the floor. And on your next inhalation, reach way out through that right heel. Oh my goodness, trying to imaginarily touch the wall opposite you. Now exhale and draw that heel back in. Feel the muscle retract all the way down the leg as you do so. When you're ready, we'll inhale and lift that right leg up into the air. Take the ends of the strap into both hands, and we'll bring the left foot up inside the strap. Oh, rest here for just a moment. When you're ready, take your right foot out of the strap and put it back down on the ground with the knee bent. And let's bend our left knee into the chest. Take a look at your foot to make sure the strap is right around the arch. And from this position here with the knee bent into the chest, we inhale and stretch that leg out till we hit the pleasure pain point. Oh, and then we can go into the pointing and flexings. The pointing and flexing work that we do along with the rotating of the ankle are some of the most keyed in yoga poses for building strength and stability in the ankle and the calf. And that's where we run the biggest risk of falling, is twisting our ankle. So after you've done 5 pointings and flexings, let's go right into rotating the ankle, using the big toe to draw an imaginary circle on the ceiling above you, doing 5 rotations. Oh boy, the connective tissue in the foot really needs this. After you've done 5 circles in one direction, stop and go in the opposite direction, trying to draw a nice wide circle or some type of object. When you complete your 5th round, let's bring both hands up to the strap, bringing the hands up high, close to the foot. And our head and shoulders are off the ground. So then we're going to inhale and lift that right leg up into the air, and exhale and let it come down to the ground. We keep our head and shoulders up so that we can look down that right leg and make sure the toes are straight up in the air, and then they're pulled back towards the face. Finally, squeeze the muscles tightly around the bones in the right leg and allow your hands to slide down that strap. Taking the ends of the strap into your left hand, we'll extend our right arm out to about 11 o'clock. When you're ready with your next exhalation, Let the left leg extend out to the left side of the body. Oh my goodness. And keep that right leg squeezed tightly. Notice what's going on in the hamstring muscles of the left leg. They're really getting an opening all the way from their attachment points on the hip and the pelvis, all the way down to the knee, the back of the knee structure. Oh my goodness. When you're ready on your next inhalation, point those toes up in the air like you're doing a pigeon-toed stance. The toes are pointed upward and inward. And then as you exhale, point the toes downward like a duck walk, turning the foot out to the side. Now, level the foot off parallel with the floor. And on your next inhalation, let's reach way out through that left heel. Oh my goodness. Exhale, we'll retract the heel back in, feeling those muscles all along the back of the leg retract in as well. On your next inhalation, up comes that left foot. Oh my goodness. We'll take the ends of the strap into both hands. And as you inhale, we'll bring the right foot back inside the strap. Oh boy. We're going to do a few things that are different here today. Lots of times we do a boat pose or a core building pose here. I would like for us to do what I call diagonals. From having our legs up the wall pose, we do diagonals, and let me just demonstrate. I bring that left knee into my chest, and I reach way out with that right leg, letting it go out to the side of my body. And I'm stretching like a bow and arrow. So my left knee looks like the arm drawn back, and my right foot looks like the point of the arrow. There we are. And if you hold on, you can feel the opening in the hamstring muscles here, the opening all the way along the inner thigh, and then the stretching of the calf muscles in the right leg. Oh boy, continue being here. We'll have one more breath cycle here, extending out through that right leg. And as you exhale, let's switch it up, bringing the right knee into the chest, and then begin inhaling and pushing that left foot out to the side. So again, it looks like a bow and arrow. The right foot looks like the hand drawing the bow back. And then the left foot looks like the end point of the arrow. Breathe here. Feel that opening that's going on in the inner groin, the inner thigh. Oh boy. Inhale, exhale, and let's bring our legs back up. And then we'll just simply bend our knees, drop our feet to the ground, and we're done with the strap. So reach out and get your blocks. And let's bring the blocks into play. We're going to stretch through the inner groin areas and the hamstrings by use of our blocks. So if you'll watch, I'll demonstrate. We're going to go into a runner's lunge. And so if I put my knees on the ground and my torso is erect, my fingertips just barely touch the blocks. And so I begin by shifting the weight to one side and moving that left foot out in front of me. And as I do so, I'll then walk the blocks alongside my left foot. The goal is to have a 90-degree angle between the left shin and calf and the left thigh. So you can see that there's a nice 90-degree angle. Now what we want to do is lift our arms and hands away from the block and bring them onto our thigh. Great job. Feel the opening that goes on in the inner growing the inner hip area, the right side. When you're ready, we're going to lift our arms out to the side and breathe, balancing here, feeling the body calling on the legs to tighten up. One more breath round here. Inhaling, exhaling, and then we reach down for our blocks. Then we slide those blocks back, keeping that left foot out in front. We begin to draw the toes back, stretching along the back side of the leg, along the hamstring and the calf muscles. So here we are using the blocks to keep us up tight and erect and stretching through that left leg. Great job, everyone. One more breath cycle. Inhaling, exhaling, and now lift the left foot and knee and bring it back in so that it's underneath your hips. I'm going to, I'll do this from the front. So watching this from the front, we take the position of height here and we slide that right foot forward until we have a 90-degree angle between the right shin and the right thigh. We slide our blocks forward with us and lean into that inner groin. Do you feel the hip that's opening right here? Oh my goodness. So raising our hands away from the blocks, we first put them on the thigh to get our balance. And then we extend the arms out to the side. Good job, everyone. Feel the core muscles having to do their job. Right here, they're working. So we're balancing, putting equal weight between the right foot and the left knee. Oh boy. One more breath cycle. Inhaling, exhaling, hands down to the blocks. Slide those blocks back to your sides, and then lift the toes up off the ground and stretch through the back of the right leg. Oh my goodness. Seeing if you can come up tall while you're doing the stretch helps deepen the pose. Breathing here, one more breath cycle. Inhaling, exhaling. And now let's bring that right foot and knee in and under the body. Still using our blocks, we're going to do a few more poses. So we're going to begin with our knees directly under our hips, and we will use our hands on top of our blocks to walk our hands out in front. Slowly, we take the right hand from the right block and put it on the ground, the left hand from the left block and put it on the ground. And then we're going to push ourselves all the way back into a child's pose. On your next inhalation, we'll slide the hands up under the shoulders and press ourselves up, pressing down into those hands. This is like a miniature push-up. So exhale and let the body come back down. Inhale and press up, using the arm muscles to get your torso up in the air. Now walk your hands back to the blocks. One at a time, reach out and stretch. Oh boy, stretching through the back, through the tailbone, stretching out through the neck and the head. Breathing here, inhaling, exhaling. Walk those blocks back in because we're going to do this one more time, but we're going to make it a little more challenging. When you're ready, we begin walking those blocks out, walking them out. And then as we come down into this position, we're going to take the right hand and lift it up off the block for 1, 2, 3, put it down. Then we lift the left hand, 1, 2, 3, and put it down. Now take your left block and come out to the side. and stretch. Stretch between the shoulders. Inhale and bring your left block to the front again. And then as you exhale, bring the right block out to the side and stretch between the shoulders, putting the weight down into both hands. Inhale and bring that block back. Drop your hands to the ground and walk them back. Open your knees out wide and come into a child's pose with your arms crossed in front of you so you can rest your head. When you're ready, let's put our hands underneath our shoulders and lift ourselves up, because it is time for us to come up to a standing position. One way to do that is to walk the feet up between the hands. To do that, we simply inhale and lift our knees off the ground and begin walking, short little steps, walking those feet up between the hands until we're at forward fold. Hang here in forward fold for just a moment, getting your bearings. On your next inhalation, slide the hands up the shins for flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Now exhale and let the hands come all the way back down to forward fold. And when you're ready, bend the knees deeply, and on an inhalation, let's do a reverse swan dive all the way up to the top so that our hands meet together, and we exhale those hands down across the face. Good job. Wonderful job. We're going to do some balance poses in a moment, but we want to get our legs in a state where they're ready to accept the weight we need to put on them. So let's begin by doing the warrior series. We'll begin by stepping the right foot out about 30 inches in front. You can see it's not a very wide stance. Notice my left foot, it's paralleled, or it's angled off at a 45-degree angle. The other thing going on is the right heel is in an alignment with the left arch. So standing up straight with our hands on our hips, we inhale and turn the torso to face forward. And then inhaling, we bend into that front knee and lift the arms up. This is called Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. Breathe here. If you feel like all of the weight is in your right knee and none in your left foot, shift the weight back so that more weight goes into the left heel. There we go. Breathe. Reaching out, letting the shoulders come down from the ears. On an exhalation, bring those hands into the hips and straighten up. Turn your body to this way. We're just going to heel toe it around so that we can do Warrior 1 in the opposite direction. So notice once again, the right foot is off at a diagonal. The left heel is in alignment with the right arch. And we come up with our hands on our hips, facing the side of our body, facing the wall here. And then we take those hands on the hips and turn the hips to face forward. After the hips face forward, we inhale, bring the arms in and dip into that front knee, the left knee. Now all of the weight feels like it's on the left foot and knee and none on the right. So we push back. We push that portion of our hip back to give us more balance between the two legs. And we breathe. Inhaling, exhaling. One last time. Inhaling, exhaling, hands back to the hips. And let's turn our feet to face a diagonal. We're facing in front of us. Now we're going to slide our hands down our shins until we come into a squat. Come only so low as you feel comfortable with, but you can experiment with it using your hands as a way of holding your torso up. Maybe you can squat down a little lower. It depends on your knees and your desire and your sense of what is right for your body. So we'll have one more breath cycle here. Inhaling, exhaling. On your next inhalation, up we rise. Now it's time for our balance poses. So either come to a wall or get your chair. I'm going to move my yoga mat out of the way because I tend to balance better without the mat. It seems like the squishiness of the mat throws my balance off a little bit. We're going to begin by doing our old faithful, which is tree pose. So I know look like I'm on my left side, but I'm actually on my right side. My right hand is on the chair back, and I begin shifting the weight into my right hip. When I'm ready, I inhale and lift that left foot up, and I place it either on the inside of the calf, or I bring it all the way up to the inner groin. I avoid, like the plague, that knee. You will blow your knee out in a heartbeat if you do this. So either here or down here. So let's just start here. The first thing we do is we extend the arm out to the side. And then once you have a sense of balance about you, you lift the other hand away from the chair or the wall. And if you come out, you just take your toe and push it on the ground and push yourself back up into the pose. Or you bring a hand down and touch. So let's do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come down. Great job, everyone. Lift your right foot up into the air and kick that foot. Remember that when we're doing a balance pose and standing on one leg, we're putting our entire body weight into one leg. That's something that we rarely, if ever, do. So this is a very strong pose, and it builds muscle that's just tremendous. So clearing our minds, taking in a nice deep breath of air, we shift the weight now to our left hip. And when we're ready, up comes the right foot and touches the inside of the calf, or comes up to the inner groin. If you can take your hand and push your knee back, no matter where your foot is located, it will help your body be in more of an alignment. So out comes the right arm. And when you find the balance point, out comes the left arm. And we just breathe, keeping the breath going, because if we freeze with our breath, if we stop breathing, the body loses its sense of balance. Here goes the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come out. Great job. Take your left foot, bring it up in the air and kick that foot. Oh, yeah. Our next pose is also a fun pose, and it is starfish. So let me see if I can come in closer. The starfish, we begin by shifting the weight onto the right foot, making sure the toes are pointed straight ahead. We inhale and lift that left leg out to the side, the left arm out to the side. And when we find our balance point, out comes that right hand. And we're just starfishing. There we are. Maybe we can lean over a little further. Feeling the balance, you can maybe see my right foot rocking back and forth slightly. That's the balance mechanism that's so fine in our body. Here goes the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come down. Great job, everyone. Pick your right foot up once again and shake it. Shake it here, shake it there, shake it everywhere. Let's prepare for the left side. Get out of the way, block. All right, here we go. We point the toes of the left foot straight ahead. We shift the weight into the left hip, and out comes that right leg. Up comes the right arm and hand. When we find our balance point, we move the hand away from the chair or the wall, and we are a starfish. On the other side, notice if there's a difference in your balance on the left foot versus the right. Don't worry if there is one. Here goes our countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come down. Good job. Pick the left foot up and do that kicking thing. Oh boy, we're building so much muscle here in the buttocks and the hamstrings and the quadriceps. And if you do this class 3 days a week, you will be astonished at how your body responds. 2 more balance poses to do. The next one is going to be the dancer pose. I enjoy that, and I think a lot of people do. So I'm going to turn a little to the side so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'll start out by balancing on my right foot. My right hand is on the chair. Standing up tall, I inhale and lift my left foot up and capture it behind me with my left hand. Then, facing straight ahead, my body is fully erect. I begin leaning forward at the waistline. And as I do so, I bring my hand away from the wall or chair. And as I reach my right hand out further, I extend my left leg behind me further to counterbalance the weight. So there has to be that balance. Ready for a countdown? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come out. Good job, everyone. That's a powerful one. Take an extra amount of time to kick that right leg and foot. Oh, you're doing wonderful. So we're going to do it on the left side. I'll turn here for a side profile. Shifting the weight into the left foot, the toes are pointed straight ahead. I keep my body very tall and erect. And as I inhale, I lift that right foot behind me and capture it with my right hand. I have it captured on the top of the foot, right where the ankle bends. And so I now begin tilting my torso forward and eventually moving the hand away from the chair and the wall. And I extend out. The more the foot goes out, the further out the hand goes, and vice versa. Here goes our countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come down. Oh, good job, everyone. Oh my goodness. Shake your left foot. Shake it all around. Oh, time for our last balance. And this is the one that just thrills me because it's so much fun. It's our free-flowing balance pose. You can do it starting out with holding your hand on the chair. It's fine. And eventually you can build up to doing without the hands, but just watch and then you can participate. So here we go. I shift the weight into my right foot. My right toes are pointed straight ahead. And then up comes that left leg. And I bring it up pretty high. And I lift my hand away from the chair. And then the left leg goes out to the left side of the body. Then we come back in. And we go past the midline and go over here. Woo! Even I come out of that. And then we come back. We begin lifting the knee up in the air so that we can bend forward and shoot that left foot behind us. Both hands are extended behind us so that we're in a supersonic mode. To come out, we inhale and rise up. And we capture that left knee with our left hand. We open the knee out to the side. And then we step back in. Whew, what do you think about that? Ready to do that? Let's start on the other side since my leg is tired. So here goes. We're going to start on the left side, shifting the weight into the left foot, holding on to the chair with the left hand. Up comes that right leg and right foot, and we move the hand away from the chair and the wall. Out to the side comes the right leg. And then we come back in. We go across the center line. We come back. Then we inhale and lift that right knee up in the air before shooting that right foot behind us, leaning forward, extending that right leg behind us. The arms are behind us in supersonic mode. To come out, we rise up, lifting the knee up to hip height. We grab that knee with our right hand, open the knee out to the side, extend that right foot out, and bring it back. Whoa. Take a moment to kick that left foot around. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we'll do the right side for those who watched the first time around. Take a moment to catch your breath. Clear your mind. Take a look at your toes to make sure they're pointed straight in front of you. Shift your weight into your right hip. Out comes that left leg and foot. We lift the hand away from the chair or the wall, and then we begin to open the left leg out to the side. Now we bring that left leg back across to the center line and across to the right side before bringing it back. Then we bend the knee up to hip height, and we begin bending forward, shooting that left leg behind us, extending the arms back to come out of the pose. Oops, legs getting cramped. To come out of the pose, we inhale and begin rising up, bringing that left knee up, capturing it with the left hand, opening the knee out to the side, extending the leg out, ooh, and then coming back into spot. Good job, everyone. Take a moment to kick that right foot. Oh. So let's do a few little stretchings right here with our chair. Take your right foot and put it up on the chair. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. We want to lean forward, stretching through the calf muscles of the right leg, through the Achilles tendon, through the hamstrings, through the glutes. Just stretching here. Now use the weight in your right hand to press back and maybe hop back a little bit to straighten out that right leg. Stretching along the back of the right leg. Oh boy, reaching down. Then finally coming forward. You know, change is something that happens all the time. It's happened with us today in class. We've changed our minds about what we think we're capable of doing. We have changed our way of thinking of ourselves as being not able to balance to thinking, by golly, I've got some balance in me. So let's stretch in on the left knee as we continue to talk about change, because we're faced with it today and tomorrow and for every day. And the way that we choose to accept it directly affects who we are. Because if we resist change, we become angry. And that anger manifests itself in our personal relationships. If we're able to accept change, then our heart is free of that bad feeling, and we're able to be who we really are, which is a good, kind, thoughtful, decent person. So let's come down to our mats. I'm going to stand here up close, and I'd like you to sit down, but I want to go through a few things for our hands. The one thing that we know as we get older is arthritis comes to us. It's come to me. I have rheumatoid arthritis. So I work on this daily. We begin by closing these fingers, closing the knuckles down, squeezing each knuckle closed. Once we have them squeezed, closed, we take the thumbs and wrap them around the forefinger and the index finger, and then we rotate those wrists down. As we do so, we're stretching along the forearms here. Now unwind those wrists and open those fingers wide. There you go, wide. We're going to do 2 more of these. Are you ready? We begin closing each knuckle, bringing them in, squeezing them in. Once we have the joints and knuckles closed up, we seal them up with the thumbs. Then we rotate those wrists down. Feel the stretch on the forearms. Oh my goodness, this is so good for us. And now we begin unwinding those hands one last time, opening those fingers wide, wide. Now closing them. Good job, everyone. Rotating the wrist downward. Great job. Good, good. And exhaling and release, release, release. Good job. This is so vital for us, our fingers. I could not imagine a world where I could not touch. I could not get feeling through the sensation of touch. And it is so easy for us to maintain our hands, and that maintains our physical contact with this world. So every day, if you think about it, try doing this, seeing if it doesn't do something for your range of motion, maybe even reducing the pain in your fingers. Now we're going to come down to our mats. It's time for corpse pose, Shavasana. So if you'll lay down, this is the most important part of our practice. We stretch our body out so that our heels are at the end of our mat. They're still on the mat, and we open our feet the width of the mat. Let your ankles flop out to the side and the knees flop out to the side. You can have your hands down by your side, palms down or palms up, or you can even bend the arms, the elbows rather, so that your hands are on your belly. That helps you feel the rise and the fall of your breath. And the reason that that is important, the rise and fall of your breath, is we're going to focus on our breathing for the next few moments. Our bodies are tired from having gone through a very vigorous yoga practice. And so it puts us in an excellent position to find what the Yoga Sutras call the silence of the mind, the stillness of the mind. So without further talking, focus on your breathing. Try to find some mental stillness. And I'll be back to bring us out in just a few moments. Begin to bring your awareness back into the room. When you're ready, begin moving fingers and toes. Just small, deliberate, waking up movement. Then allow that movement to expand to include moving the hands and the feet. And then finally, let the expansion go all the way out to include the arms and the legs, moving them slowly and deliberately, waking the body back up. Now roll to your right side in a half fetal position, drawing the knees up towards the chest, letting the right arm extend over your head so you can rest the side of your head on your arm. So this is a very comforting position, one that allows us to gather ourselves together. Using both hands, let's press up to a seated position, to Sukhasana. And if you'll bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being willing to talk about change, being willing to look at change, because the way that we accept change and deal with change directly affects who we are. So once again, thank you so much for letting me come into your homes. And with that, I greet you with Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. I really enjoyed having you. Pat, Ellie, Betsy, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Kevin. It was wonderful seeing you on a Wednesday.